Good afternoon everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are here once again. We've been here many a time before to do a 24-hour readathon. However, I always find myself leaving the all-intensive like 10 to 10, 12 to 12, whatever, readathons feeling underwhelmed in my performance within those 24 hours, and that is because I sleep and I don't stop the timer. So today we're going to be doing it slightly different to how you've seen me do it before. All the other times you've seen me do 24-hour readathon, 48-hour readathon, that was crazy. I have just let the timer run. I have slept, I have done whatever, I have not paused it. We're not doing that today. I'm expecting this to take me a few days just based on the nature of how I am doing it, and I'm completely happy with that. I want it to be a little bit less intensive. We're going to be doing the timer method. Actually, I don't think I'm doing it on my phone, but we're going to be doing the timer method where I only let the timer run when I am sat actively reading. If I am cooking, if I'm eating, if I am sleeping, anything like that, the timer will be paused. So the 24 hours of reading will accurately reflect an actual 24-hour period of reading. It won't be 24 hours straight. So I am starting this on Thursday the 15th of May. I don't know if you can see that. And we will be going probably until Saturday. I still plan to do it relatively intensively, like 8 to 10 hours today, the same tomorrow, and then we will finish it up on Saturday. That is my plan. So I have a stack of books, which is actually very thematic. You can't see my shirt. Hold on, let me go up. It's blue. And the reason my shirt is blue is because I unintentionally picked a very cohesive colour palette of books. Look at this. They all look so lovely together. I'm very excited about them all. I don't necessarily know if I'll get to all of them. I have 6 books prepared for this readathon because I also have a book on my Kindle that we're going to talk about. So I don't know if we're going to get through to all of them. I think I featured The Nightingale in my last 24-hour readathon TBR and I didn't read it. And in all honesty, if I do pick this one up, it will be to end out the readathon because I don't think I'd be able to read it in its entirety. I don't know if I want to, but I want to start it. So let's just go through the stack. We can talk about each book and then we can just get started. So the first book on the TBR is Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher. This is like a romantic fantasy romance. I don't know which one, but it has romance in it and it is a fantasy book and I'm so excited. And can we just take a moment to appreciate these absolutely stunning new traditionally published covers? I think they're stunning and they really give that like medieval fantasy feel to them and I love them. But yeah, I don't really know exactly what it is. I think a paladin is like a god, and then Grace is the name of the main female character, and that's kind of all I know. And again, you guys know me. I don't like to go in knowing too much. I feel like it can, you know, it sets expectations, and then sometimes expectations can get destroyed. So I try to go in not knowing anything, but yeah, Paladin's Grace is our first option. And I picked this one because it's been so hot and sunny, and yesterday was 25 degrees, bright blue skies, clear skies, sunshine, and today is so cloudy. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like kind of dark in here. So I picked Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan, I believe, because of the lovely weather, and that was miserable. So I'm gonna save this one for tomorrow, because it's meant to be sunny tomorrow. It did say clouds on the forecast for today. I'm hoping that it will be sunny tomorrow instead, and then we can read this one then. But I've read one other Annabelle Monaghan. I believe I read it in a vlog. Maybe I didn't, but I read Nora Goes Off Script, and I really enjoyed it to the point where I bought a physical copy of that one and her other 2 currently published works. So I don't know what this one's about, but this is like a 4.04 average on Goodreads, so I thought it could be a good one to read in the readathon. Then we have The Nightingale, of course, by Kristen Hanna. We shall see if I get around to this one, but yeah, this is the story about two French sisters. Yes, in World War II, Paris, I believe. Or France. I don't know. But again, obviously, I feel like we've all heard incredible things about this book, and I have been dying to pick it up since I bought it earlier this year, and I just haven't yet. So hopefully tomorrow or the day after can be the day where I finally give this book a chance and I start it. Then we have Off to the Races by Elsie Silver, and I feel like this one fits my shirt the best, like the vibes of my shirt. This is the first book in her Gold Rush Ranch series, which is the original cowboy series that she wrote before the Chestnut Springs series. So I'm going to be starting this one, and this one also is on KU, I believe. So that will give me kind of the option of reading on my Kindle if I want to mix it up, or if I'm just slouching in bed, things like that. But I think it's going to be fun. I do. Then we have The Traitor Queen by Daniel L. Jensen, and this is the second book in the Bridge Kingdom series. I have read the first one relatively recently, and I do want to continue the series, so I thought we could read this one together in the readathon. I can't really tell you what this one is about because it's obviously a continuation, it's the second book, but you know, you have the Bridge Kingdom of Ithacana, and Lara is sent into the Bridge Kingdom to marry its king and to kind of tear it down from the inside, but it doesn't really go to plan, and she learns things that were hidden from her and the rest of the world, and you know, her walls are kind of broken down, and she, I don't know, goes on like kind of a journey. And this obviously takes place after the events of the ending of the last book, and I am very intrigued to see what's going to happen. So those are all our physical options. And then I do have Enchantra on my Kindle. I'm only 10% of the way into this one. I did start it, I did not continue on with it when I started it. So yeah, I'm 10% in, and it says it will take me about 5 hours to read it. I feel like I can get that down because I don't remember reading that 10% like really intensively. So that is also a very strong contender. And if anyone's curious, the cover of this one is purple. So yes, it still fits this unintentional colour palette I have going on with the blues and the purples. But I spoke a lot about all of our options, so I'm gonna go and actually read them now. I think I'm gonna start with The Traitor Queen or Paladin's Grace. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna start with one of them, and then we can see where we go from there. But let's go and start the readathon. We are like, I actually don't know, hold on, 2 hours and 10 minutes into the readathon thus far, and I have made, that screeching is really annoying, but I have made tremendous progress. So I felt like I should update you guys before I finish this book, because I'm probably like 50 minutes away from finishing this book, truthfully. Yeah, I have 125 pages left of this book, guys. I am on page 254, which is this much into it, in, yeah, 2 hours and 10 minutes. And it is so good, you guys, like, really good. I read the first book a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I'm not actually sure, but I liked it, but I gave it 3.75, like, it wasn't my most, like, it had issues and flaws to me, but this is incredible. Currently it's sitting at a 4-star, but I still have, yeah, like 120-ish pages left, so it could definitely improve. My friend who had a similar rating for the first book gave this one 4.5, sorry, so I feel like it could increase itself. But honestly, it's just like lots of politics, and sometimes politics works for me in books and sometimes it doesn't, and in this one it's really working. Like the politics is intriguing. I'm intrigued by the plot. It's fast paced, it's moving really quick. It does not feel like I've been reading this for 2 hours. It doesn't feel like I've read 250 pages of it, because I'm just flying through it and it's so interesting and it's just so good, and I'm really enjoying kind of the new characters we're getting in this book, but also the deeper exploration of the characters we currently have in this book and the relationship between those characters, if that makes sense. It's all just, honestly, all round a very enjoyable reading experience, and I'm so glad I decided to start with this one because it's been so fast paced and I think exactly what you need to get you, oh, it's flopping, to get you into a readathon. So that's where I'm at with this one. I'm gonna sit and finish this now, and yeah, I think it will take like 50 minutes to an hour, because I've been doing about 120 pages an hour, but it's obviously the end of the book, so you know how these things go. But yeah, so far, really freaking good. Like in the first just over 3 hours of this readathon, we're gonna have one book done, which is incredible. So let's keep it up. Let's just see where this one goes. I am on FaceTime with my friends, but I'm not getting very distracted. I'm obviously managing to get a whole bunch of reading done. And yeah, we still have 21 hours and 50 minutes on the clock. So much time ahead of us. I'm having so much fun, honestly. I am back just a short while later. Honestly, like 40 minutes later, I think. And where is it? We have finished book 1 of the 24-hour readathon. I have finished The Traitor Queen by Daniel L. Jensen. Oh my god, I didn't even think about a rating before I pressed record on this clip. But what I can tell you right now is that we have 21 hours, 8 minutes and 44 seconds left on the timer, which means that it took me 2 hours, 52 minutes and 16 seconds to read the first book of this readathon. That's probably, honestly, the quickest I have ever read a book of this size. This book was 380 pages, and I read it in just under 3 hours. I think I'm honestly really impressed with myself. I'm so happy with that. It's like one of the quickest I've ever read a book of this size. So yeah, that's what we're at this. Honestly, I'm thinking a 4.5, if not a 4.25. I'll let you know. That was loud. I'll let you know, like, obviously in the outro, my final ratings, but right now I'm kind of deciding between a 4.25 or a 4.5. This was really good. I think a perfect conclusion to their story within this series, because if you don't know, this is a series, there's currently 5 books out, but only the first 2 follow these characters, and then the next 2 follow 2 other characters, and then the one after that, and I'm guessing the next book to be released will follow another 2 characters. So they're kind of like duologies within a series. But I just thought this was a great conclusion to, you know, their story, and I really enjoyed it. I really did. So good. So we are done with this one. I don't know what I'm gonna pick up next, so I guess you guys will just see when I start it. But yeah, book 1 done. Now we need to start book 2. I decided to update you guys for book 2 at the 1 hour mark, because I updated you guys right near the end for book 1, so I thought I'd update you. Sorry, Don, you made such a weird face. But yeah, I thought I'd update you with like initial impressions, since this is like a brand new series. I think I've read 1 book by this author before, but not a fantasy one, so it's all quite new. So yeah, I thought I'd give you initial impressions, and my initial impressions are that this is going to be such a good book. I'm already predicting quite a high rating for this one. It's like cozy fantasy. However, I feel like I don't even know if I've technically read any cozy fantasy. I'm unsure. But my current impression on cozy fantasy is that there's not too many stakes usually, and I feel like this one has somewhat more significant stakes. It's kind of like a hybrid between like a fantasy romance and like a mystery crime book. I don't know. Basically, there's like an assassin out and about, or like a serial killer type dude out and about, and I believe, I mean, they haven't got there yet. I'm 111 pages in, by the way, but I think we're gonna reach a point where they're kind of trying to figure out who this murderer is, and they're kind of gonna try and figure it out together. And honestly, so far it's been so interesting. The characterization, I think, is really strong. They're really like individualistic, if that makes sense. Like, she is a perfumer, and she just like really solidifies that super early on, and she can just recognize any scent and like where it comes from and what draws out different things. I don't know anything about perfume. Can you tell? But she knows all that sort of stuff. And then he knits pink socks for all of his paladin friends, so it's just so cute, and I have been really enjoying it so far. And I'm intrigued to see where the rest of it goes. We are once again on track to finish this in just around 3 hours, which is incredible. But I already know I'm going to want to buy the next books in this series. I don't know how I could not. It's just amazing. And I love this artwork on the front. Look at him. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with this one. Only an hour in. But so far it's just been great, and I'm so intrigued to see where the rest of the plot is going to go and how it's going to unfold and how the romance is going to continue to brew, because so far I'm like, I can't wait to see them together. So let's just keep reading and see how the rest of this book unfolds, and honestly I'll probably come back to you guys when I have finished it. Ding, Julian. Sorry. Oh, I forgot to mute my friends. Back for another update. Guys, this readathon is, I think, going to be my best readathon yet. It's just going so incredibly well. I'm so happy with the progression of this readathon. Like, genuinely so happy about it. So, we finished book number 2, Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher, and I am giving this one a 3, no, the sacrilege, a 4.75 star. I don't know why, it just wasn't quite a 5-star for me, but it was like genuinely such a good book, and I'm so glad I read this one. It was incredible, and if you're looking for just like a bit of a silly, cozy fantasy, but there's still some stakes, read this one, and I will be buying myself the second book as soon as I possibly can, because I have to continue on with this series. It's just so good. I actually, yeah, a new favorite series on the rise, potentially. We managed, let me consult the phone. We managed to get this book read in 2 hours and 53 minutes. I have them written down here. That's only 1 minute longer than The Traitor Queen, which is crazy. So yeah, we read this one again in like a record time. And I think the reason why this one took me like 1 minute longer, even though it was like 20 less pages is because the font was kind of small. If anyone was curious on why that could have been, I think that's the reason. And, you know, just getting a bit tired as the evening goes on. It's 9:30 now. I am actually going to try and get one more book done before bed because I'm just reading them so quick. I feel like I can bash out 3 more hours of this readathon, or like 2.5, and get a book done, because the next book on the TBR, on the roster, the next book I will be reading is Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. And this looks huge, right? I thought this was like a long romance because it's so much bigger than all the other ones in the series. It's not. It has like a really long novella in it. It has Out of the Gate, which is like a Gold Rush Ranch prequel novella, which I won't be reading today, but it's like 100 pages. So actually this book is 330 pages, but it's also an author I'm very familiar with. It's also a romance. So I'm thinking I can get it done in 2.5 hours. But I'm very excited to be starting another Elsie Silver series, because as it currently stands, I don't know if you can see them here, I own all of her books, I believe, but I've only read the Chestnut Springs series. I haven't actually read, like, this one, obviously, or Wild Eyes, that's, what's that series called? Rose Hill series, I think. I haven't read that yet. Me and my friend are gonna buddy read that. So I'm excited to get back into some Elsie Silver worlds. I'm excited to maybe see, not in this one, but I think in the future series there's obviously some crossover a little bit, but I'm just excited to be back with the cowboy vibes, and I just love this cover. But I'm gonna stop rambling because I want to be able to get this book done before the end of the evening. So I'm gonna go sit myself in my desk chair for a bit of a change of scenery, and we are going to start reading, what's it called? Off to the Races. I was like, I don't even remember what it's called, but yeah. I'm also maybe gonna change into some like proper PJs. These are my like cute PJs for the vlog, but I want to be like really comfy, so I might put some comfier PJs on and take my makeup off perhaps, but that's where we are at nonetheless. And yeah, it's just going so well. I'm so happy about it. I've been reading for just a few minutes, over an hour, and I thought I would check back in as I do. And I am on page 138, which is chapter 15 of this book, all within an hour. Obviously, okay guys, so it looks like I've read nothing. It's actually this. So I'm actually just under halfway through. I think on my Kindle it's saying I'm about 43% of the way through. And I've done that in an hour. Hey, guys, listen. I don't know what's going on today. But also, romance books are so easy to read. They really are. I had no idea what the plot of this one was going in. Sorry, guys, I get hiccups. Yeah, I had no idea what the plot was. But basically, there's this really rich guy whose name sounds awful in an English accent, which is Vaughn. Vaughn, I think is, you know, Vaughn. Like, I don't know, I felt like an idiot. But he's like super rich, and he owns these horses, or his family owns these horses, and they need someone to like train one up, and that's who Billy is. And she's training this horse to be able to race, I think. I don't know, guys, listen, I don't know anything about horses. I'm not gonna pretend that I do. But I think she's like training it up to get it to be able to race. I don't know. And that's basically where I'm at now. Things are starting to happen between them as well. They're starting to kind of form a relationship. The only thing I will say, and this is a fault of me and this challenge, because I've read, you know, 40% of the book in an hour, it feels like it's moving quick, but obviously it's not, because we're 40% into the book and they're starting to have like little moments. It feels quick because of how quickly I've read it. I think that's a fault of the readathon, not of the book. But even then, like, I don't really care that it's moving fast. Sometimes you want it to move fast, and it's not moved that fast. Like, they've had 2 kisses, I think, so it's like not that bad. but that's where I'm at. I'm not going to talk to you guys again today, even if I do end up finishing this book today, because it's getting late and I just want to lay in bed and relax, and then once I finished it, just like go to bed, you know, and that's fair enough. So I'm gonna do that. Hopefully I will finish it, but if I don't, I'll probably have like 30 minutes left to read in the morning. But yeah, we're about an hour and 3 minutes into the third book of the readathon. There's 17 hours and 15 minutes left on the clock. So we've managed to do, like, we'll probably finish on 8 hours for today. I'm gonna start rambling to you guys, and I'm gonna go and hopefully try and finish up this book. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. It's not as good as obviously the Chestnut Ridge series, but it is still really good. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm enjoying myself. I need to update you. I know I look like this. I had a shower. I'm air drying my hair. I have to have the roller in. Listen, don't judge me. Don't judge me. I can't believe I'm looking like this on the internet. Here with an update because I need to, because I've done some reading. It's the next day. We have 15 hours left on the clock, I believe. And so this morning, I did not finish this last night. I just finished it up. Wait, if I sit here, you can't really see the roller. I finished this one up last night, and no, I didn't. That's a big fat lie. I didn't finish this one up last night, so I had to finish it up this morning, but that was completely fine. And I managed to read this one, I think, in 2 hours and 11 minutes. I'll put it here somewhere, but I think it was around 2 hours and 11 minutes. So I read this one so quick in total. And I settled on a 3-star for this one just because I felt like I needed to rate it in relation to her other works. Sorry, I have hiccups. In relation to her other works, and this just like wasn't as good as her other books, but it wasn't a bad book, you know? I really liked Billy. I wasn't sure about Vaughn. He was like, his internal monologue was like a bit like sexual at some points. I don't know. So I wasn't attracted to him in the slightest. Like, the mental image I got of him was so unattractive. But I really liked Billy still, and I liked her relationship with the horse, and that was all fun. It was a fun time. So we did finish up this one, and then I decided to next pick up Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. And I'm about an hour into reading this one. I paused to take the shower. But yeah, I am about an hour into reading this one. I'm on chapter 20, which is page 142. But yeah, 142 pages into this book. So we've made decent progress. I think it's going to take me about an hour and a half to finish this one up today. And then we'll still have like we'll have many hours. many hours left of the readathon. So we're gonna have to pick some new books because, guys, I think I have changed my mind and I'm not gonna be reading The Nightingale in this vlog. I used to love a book that made me cry, but at the moment I'm just not in the mood to cry at all. So I don't want to read this one because I know it's gonna make me cry, like I know for a fact, and I don't want that. So we're not going to read this one anymore. Yeah, so we're not going to do this one. So after we've read this book and then the next book, which is Phantasma, that's the next one I'm going to pick up. After that, we're probably still going to have about like 8 or 9 hours left readathon. So we're going to have to pick like 2 more books, I think. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, we need to be prepared to have to pick more books. But anyway, I digress. We're going to finish up Summer Romance now, and then we will just see where we go from there. But I'm having a lot of fun with this one. I am enjoying it. I like the plot. I like the romance that's budding in this one. I'm very happy with all of it thus far. gonna do a super casual update right now because I'm losing my marbles and I still have 14 hours. This read, guys, I'm not even halfway through. I've read 4 books and I'm not even halfway through. Wait, that's crazy. Anyway, if you couldn't tell, this book took me 2.5 hours to complete. I read it very disjointed though, it's almost 6 p.m, but a few different things happened, so I had to read this one just a bit more broken up. But yeah, we are, no, 2.5 hours this one took, and that is our 4th book of the readathon. I'll show you guys. These are the books we have completed so far, and we're now going to move on to our next book. So like I said, we have 14 hours pretty much, 13 hours, 58 minutes and 43 seconds left of this readathon. And the next book we're going to be reading is Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I have already started this one. I'm 10% of the way in though. I have not read much. I think that's about 30 pages, something like that. Like, honestly, not a lot. But that is what I have read. I don't know how long this is going to take me to finish. I'm hoping about 4 hours. I think that will be good. So, because this one's a bit longer than any of the other ones I've picked up thus far. So we're going to sit and read this one. It will probably take us until about 9 p.m, 9:10. And then I have a couple of other options for the rest of the readathon, which I will show you guys when we get to it. But we're gonna start Phantasma now. I'll see you guys once I've made some decent progress with our 5th book. I'm filming. Love it. I honestly did not think I'd have to update you guys this much, but alas, I am reading lots of books, and I feel like it's weird to not give a midway through update. I don't know. So I'm gonna give you one. Reading Phantasma of Enchantra, of course, and I am 67% of the way through, and honestly I'm really enjoying it. I don't think I'm enjoying it as much as Phantasma. I don't think the stakes feel as high, so it doesn't feel less like, you know, but I do really like the guy, whose name I can't remember. And I do like Genevieve. Obviously we already knew Genevieve, so she's not like a new character. But I have been enjoying kind of the setting and the cast and everything. However, it does feel like quite recycled, I guess you could say, from Phantasma. Like, the nature of the scenario that they find themselves in is somewhat similar, I guess. But honestly, all in all, I'm really enjoying it, but it's definitely not going to be as highly rated as Phantasma. I'm personally enjoying, or I enjoyed Phantasma more than I'm enjoying this one. However, there's still 33% left. No, yeah, I think. So, things could change, but yeah, I just thought I'd do like I'm wobbling around because I'm like crouched right now. But I thought I would do a really quick update on this before I go ahead and finish it, because it feels weird to just like show me starting it and then show me finishing it a few hours later. So that's where we're at. I'm currently having to run the clock because I forgot to press play earlier and I read for 8 minutes, so I'm just running it for 8 minutes over there while we wait for the clock to get back to where it should be. That's what's happening now. I'm gonna sit and finish Enchantra this evening, and then I think I will start the 6th book. Oh my god. No. Yeah, the 6th book. I will start the 6th book just so it's less daunting in the morning and I can just get straight back into it. Which I think I'm gonna pick well, I think I know what I'm going to pick, but I'm actually going to keep it secret until we start it. So, I'm going to go back and read more of Enchantra now and actually finish it up. I'm back with another update. Somehow. Can someone tell me to read slower? I think the next book I'm going to try and take my time and, like, take up more of this readathon, because how have I finished 5 books? And there's 11 hours and 20 minutes left, you guys. I don't even understand. But we did finish Enchantra, which I'm very happy about. I feel like I enjoyed this one. Like, guys, I'm losing my willpower to speak to you, to formulate thoughts. Like, I'm literally reading these books, and obviously I'm taking in the books and I'm enjoying them. Anything outside of these books, my brain is just shut off. Like, I'm tired of reading. I'm not. Honestly, I'm having so much fun. I think what's stressing me out is now I'm, like, moving on to reading books I hadn't even thought about, because I've gotten through my TBR for the readathon, and I honestly expected to, like, just be able to get, like, this 6th book done. Like, maybe I thought, okay, I can probably get 5 done, I might be able to read 6. I'm halfway through. And I'm reading the 6th book. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but this book will not take me 11 hours to read. So I'm gonna have to pick an additional book. I actually think this is, like, a challenge for me, though, like, because I'm reading so much. This is actually challenging. I've just, like, deeped that this is a 24-hour reading challenge, so I'm gonna shut up. Like, it's meant to be challenging. Anyway, I enjoyed this. Back from my tangent. I've enjoyed this less than Phantasma. I can't even formulate thoughts anymore. I enjoyed Phantasma more. I can't even think. I enjoyed Phantasma more. However, I feel like I enjoyed this love interest just as much as the last one. Also, as well, when they kept saying Salem throughout the book, I was like, who the hell is Salem? Guys, I don't remember the love interest's name being Salem. Am I going crazy, or was his name not Salem? I don't know. But I liked Rowan in this one. I liked Genevieve. I liked their relationship. I thought the nature of Enchantra and the hunt was somewhat repetitive. Nowhere near as much action as Phantasma, and I think that's why I enjoyed it less. I don't know, the stakes just weren't there for me. Like, it was very repetitive. I feel like the same thing was happening over and over again. But I still really enjoyed it. 3.75 stars. Like, very solid book, very solid rating. I'm intrigued to see where the next book goes. I think I can kind of see where it's going, because there's, like, a plot point in this that isn't wrapped up. It's not like, I felt like Enchantra was kind of wrapped up with a very neat bow. This one, no. I felt like Phantasma was like that. Enchantra, I don't feel like was like that as much. I think there was kind of a more ambiguous ending in relation to other characters. So, I can kind of see where we're going with that, in that regard, for the next book, which is coming out at the end of the year, which is crazy, because this book came out this year, and I'm just like, damn, 2 in 1 year is insane, and I honestly cannot keep up with all these new releases. There's so many. But I digress. We had to move on and pick our sixth book of the readathon. And I picked her. And I'm actually very happy with my pick, and I am very excited to read this, and I'm glad that I thought of it, because obviously I didn't plan to read this book. We've exceeded my expectations. So, yeah, let me show you. We're gonna read Ariadne. Yeah, I don't know if this is unexpected for you guys. It might actually be in the thumbnail, so it's probably not that unexpected. But it's very unexpected for me. I did not think I was gonna pick up this book. But yeah, Ariadne by Jennifer Sain. I love me some Greek mythology, some Greek retellings, and this is a book club pick for the Patreon I'm part of for May. So it's just perfect, killing 2 birds with 1 stone, and I'm hoping that the nature of this book will force me to read it slower. and force me to take my time, you know? So I'm very excited about this one. We're going to delve into this. There still being 11 hours on the clock scares me for tomorrow. I thought I'd maybe have to do about 4 hours of reading tomorrow when I initially started this. That did not happen. I think I'm going to be left with about 9 or 10 hours. Probably 10 hours to read tomorrow. So that will be interesting. This has gone on longer than I expected. This is not what I anticipated. I'm starting to lose my sanity. I'm going to apologise in advance for how coherent I'm going to be tomorrow. How much sanity I'm going to have tomorrow. I think it's going to dwindle by the hour. So, with that being said, I'm going to start this, and I'm actually so excited about it. I might put on some thematic music, maybe get myself a fresh drink, awaken myself somewhat, because I need to lock in. And then, yeah, I'll update you guys in the morning on how this one is going to go. But very excited, very excited. Good morning, everyone. I thought I'd do an update you guys where I'm at mentally with this challenge. As you can see, I'm at my desk with my headset on. That's because I'm not going to be reading yet. Someone reminded me last night that this is meant to be fun. So I'm trying to put less pressure on it, and we're going to do the remaining hours probably over today and tomorrow, as opposed to last night I was thinking, no, I'm going to get the remaining 11 hours done today. I'm not going to do that to myself, because like I said, it's meant to be fun. Isn't that right?
Reading is meant to be fun.
Yes, reading.
It's meant to be a hobby.
Yes, and it is. So, we're going to take it more chill. Leon is away tonight, so I suggested that we spend our morning playing Minecraft together. So that's what we're going to do for a few hours, and then I will start reading later on in the day. But yeah, also, it's not even 9 a.m. I don't know if we realised that when we sat down to play Minecraft, that it's not even 9 a.m. But Leon's leaving like early afternoon, so yeah, we're going to play some Minecraft. It's going to be more chill, and then we're going to take the rest of these hours a little bit more chill with the readathon. I thought it was time I gave you another update on the reading. So I'm on part 3 now of Ariadne, which is page 249, and I'm actually really enjoying it now. At the beginning, it took me a second to get into it. I think it's because I started it at like 11 o'clock at night, so I was really tired. And then when I woke up in the morning, I was still like getting into the story. But now I'm like obviously properly into the story, and I am really enjoying it. I think I'm not enjoying this one as much as, say, Madeline Miller's books, because I feel like this is a bit like mythology dumpy. Like, I feel like the author she's giving me loads of myths, but she's almost like having other people tell them to our main character as a means to tell these myths to us. However, these myths don't really pertain to like Ariadne herself, if that makes sense. Like, it's other stories. Like, she got told the story of Midas and how he came to like be able to turn things into gold, and I just don't really understand how that like benefits her story, how it kind of plays into it. I don't know. So that I'm kind of, yeah, it's just telling you a lot of the mythology, and also it's like some more of the well-known ones, such as Icarus. I feel like if you're reading Greek mythology, you probably know the story of Icarus, so I don't know if it needs to be reiterated when it does not change, like, the plot of the book. That's not specifically for the Icarus one, because I feel like that did somewhat play into the plot a little bit, but, like, Midas didn't, so I don't know about that one. But that's all to say, I am definitely really enjoying it. I'm actually... Is that a bus? That is so loud. I am intrigued to see where part 3 is going to go, because after saying all that, I actually don't know the story of Ariadne herself that well. I know some of the other ones. I don't know if Ariadne is as well known. I personally don't know it that well, and I feel like I know quite a few of the stories. I don't know. But yeah, this is just one that I never did my research into. So I don't know where the rest of this book is going to go, and I'm kind of stressed because I got like a little hint as to what is the next like thing to happen. And yeah, I'm intrigued to see where it's going to go, but I'm really enjoying it. We have 9 hours and 15 minutes left on the clock, so I'm assuming when we finish this we'll have about 8 hours left of the readathon, and it's about 2:30, so lots of the day left. However, I don't think we'll be finishing this readathon today. I think it will ultimately be finishing tomorrow, but that's obviously completely fine. I'm trying to take it more chill after Leon's wise words of it's meant to be fun. You know, I'm trying to actually have fun with it, and I am, because I'm really enjoying this book. So I'm gonna sit and finish this one up now, finish up the 6th book of the readathon, and I'll get back to you with my final thoughts, and we can pick our next book together. We are back with another update, of course. This is like the 50th update in this video, I swear, but we have now finished Ariadne by Jennifer Saint, and I have to admit to you guys, I didn't love this one. I thought the ending was weird. Like, I always feel like it's difficult to end a mythology retelling, like it kind of is. I get that. However, I still didn't enjoy the ending. I don't know, just like give me more. I don't know, I also felt like she kind of went off script a little bit. I don't know. And yeah, I think I already said it felt like she was just telling me different myths that didn't necessarily fit into the story. Why are those cars so loud? I don't want to dwell on this one, but it wasn't my favourite. I think, I don't know, it markets itself as something that I'm personally not entirely sure it was. A lot of people do say if you loved Circe you would like this, so I will say if you did enjoy Circe, give this a go, because you probably will really enjoy it. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of Circe. I'm more of a Song of Achilles girl myself. But yeah, I settled on a 3-star for this one, so not bad, but just not great either. But that is the 6th book done, and this one took me 2 hours and 56 minutes. Hold on. 2 hours and 54 minutes. So this is the longest a book has taken me thus far with the readathon, but literally by a minute. So, you know. But yeah, we are done with this one. I actually don't know how I managed to get through this one that quick. I did mess up my timer a couple of times with this one. I kept forgetting to press play for it. So that could be off by like 5-10 minutes. Just bear that in mind of like actual reading time. But yeah, that's kind of where we were at with this one. And now we get to move on to another book, which I am excited about. I'm hoping to read until about 10-11 tonight, and then that should leave me with about 4 hours left tomorrow. So my current plans, I have kind of 2 more books picked out for today, and then hopefully we can get both of these done, or finish at least both of them by tomorrow. And then anyway, let me just go through it. So I'm going to be finishing Long Shadow. I am currently part of the way through this, so I will, you know, I'm planning to add up all the pages at the end so that you guys can see that statistic as well. But yeah, I'm 68 pages into this one, which is chapter 6, and I've been in the middle of this one for months. So I'm glad to kind of finally be getting back into this one and finally finishing it up. But it's a super short book anyway. It's 254 pages, and I've already, basically I have 190-ish pages left to read of this one, so I'm hoping it will take me about an hour and a half to 2 hours potentially. to finish this one up, so that's what we're going to move on to immediately. But I thought I probably won't give you guys a midway update for this one because it's just going to be so quick and I don't think you need one. Good morning, everyone. I have kind of just woken up, scrolled on my phone for a bit, and now I'm ready to finish this readathon. We have 4 hours and 40 minutes left on the clock. It is 9:45 and we're going to be finishing up at Dungeon Crawler Carl. I think, yeah, I'm 37% of the way through. 4 hours and 8 minutes left, it's telling me, so that will work out perfectly. I actually don't think I spoke to you guys after I finished Long Shadow, so let's do that really quick. Long Shadow by Olivia Atwater. I did finish this one last night. I enjoyed it. I'm glad to have had it finished because once I marked it as done on Goodreads, you guys, I started it on January 7th. What do you mean? I started this book 5 months ago, so I'm glad to finally have finished this one. I think I gave it 3.5. If I didn't, that's what I want to give it, you know? It was definitely fun. I think out of the whole trilogy, it was my second favourite. I think, okay, impromptu ranking. I think I would go Half a Soul, Long Shadow, and then 10,000 Stitches. I think because, like, kind of spoilers, obviously you follow a set of characters in Half a Soul. The characters in this one are, like, directly linked to those original characters, whereas 10,000 Stitches was kind of, like, you got little bits of some other characters, but it was mainly dealing with completely new people, which I think is why I didn't enjoy it as much, because I loved being back and seeing some of those characters again from the first book. But yeah, so like 3.5. I don't know how long this one took me to finish. I'll try and put it on the screen, but I want to say 2 hours, just under. I was watching the FA Cup final while I was reading this, so it wasn't my fastest speed. And then, yeah, and then with this one, I could have read it faster, but I watched Ella Enchanted with my friend. Yeah, me and Danya watched Ella Enchanted, which was so much fun. That wooden escalator just gets me every time. It's such a funny film, but I probably could have had an hour left, like, after finishing this book of the readathon, if I hadn't watched that film. But guys, we'll see how much time I'm left with to see what we'll do with it. We might just call it there if it's like an awkward amount of time, but if it's a decent amount of time, we can start a different book and then, you know, just see how far in we can get with it. But yeah, I don't want this timer to run too late into my afternoon, so I really want to start it now, so I'm gonna go so that I can start reading, because I want it to be done around 2:30, and I actually don't even think it will be done then. I'm trying to like work out time. No, it will. Yeah, if I go now, it should be done at 2:30. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna really lock in and like not pause the timer from now, so that I can just get it done for 2:30, and then I can have the rest of the day to myself, because I really want to watch season 2 of Mormon Wives. So I'm gonna go read Dungeon Crawler Carl. But guys, wait, I didn't even speak about Dungeon Crawler Carl. All I'm gonna say, we can talk about it when I've finished it, but this is so good. I was like, I knew it was gonna be kind of like a game show where people could watch the people going through these dungeons. I did not realize it was gonna be like a video game, and he was gonna get like achievements, and then he was gonna get like rewards for some of the achievements, and the achievements are just so funny. It's honestly like a really funny book. I've been like chuckling to myself a little bit with this one, but yeah, I'll leave that there, and then we can do some in-depth thoughts when we wrap up the vlog, whenever we do that. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I am back to wrap up this 24-hour readathon. It's been, I think, a week since I finished this. When did I finish? Did I finish it on the Saturday? No, I finished it on the Sunday. It's been just under a week since I wrapped up this readathon, and I thought we could just really quickly go through all of the books we read and then do a slightly more in detail discussion on the final 2 or 3 books, because I didn't really speak about them as much as the other ones, and then I can let you guys go. The first book that we read during this 24-hour readathon was The Traitor Queen by Daniel L. Jensen. Also, I don't remember the timings off the top of my head, so I'm gonna put like everything, all the information you need right here, so that, yeah, you kind of know how long it took me, how long the book is, everything like that. But yes, The Traitor Queen was book 1, and I loved this one. I thought it was such a good conclusion to Lara and Aaron's, that's his name, right? Aaron? Yeah. I thought it was such a good conclusion to Lara and Aaron's story, and I was really happy with how everything went and the pacing of it and kind of the conclusion that we ended off with for these specific characters. Because if you don't know, this is part of the Bridge Kingdom series, and I believe there's currently 5 out, but every 2 books we're like switching focus of characters, if that makes sense. So yeah, this one was the final book for Lara and Aaron, and I can't really say too much without spoiling book 1, but honestly this is like just a really good fantasy, but there's no magic in it. It's just like a new different world, and it's kind of about this bridge kingdom called Ithacana, and it's about Lara being raised to infiltrate Ithacana by marrying the king, Aaron, and, you know, kind of seducing him and tearing them apart from the inside, but it obviously doesn't quite go like that, and it's really good, and I think I preferred this one to book 1. This was just really good. Yeah, I gave it 4.5 stars. I was so happy with this one. Then we read Paladin's Grace. Honestly, this readathon was off to such a strong start because I also absolutely adored this book. I gave it 4.75 in the end. Guys, I loved it. This is like a cozy fantasy that basically each book follows a different paladin, and paladins are kind of guards in service of a god, but their god died. So now they're just kind of, they're helping out elsewhere, but he finds himself kind of entangled with Grace, who is a perfumer, and yeah, their stories kind of find their way together, and it gets really wacky and silly, but in a good way, and it was just so incredible. I was never bored. I've actually since bought the next 2 books in the series since finishing this one up, because I just knew I had to continue the series. I knew I was gonna love it. And yeah, it was just great. I mean, he knits socks for everyone, and yeah, she is a perfumer, and she has this really fun little like cat thing. It's this thing here. And I really recommend this one. I think I already said, but when I bought this book, the cashier at Waterstones was like, this is one of the best romantasy books I've read, like, so far. And I was like, oh my god, okay, interesting, intriguing. And then I read it and I was like, yeah, absolutely, I agree. Like, she was onto something with this one. I'm so glad I picked it up. I think everyone should read this book. If you've been watching my videos and you know you have similar reading taste to me, read this book because it was phenomenal. Then we have our first kind of dip. I picked up the first book, Off to the Races, in the Gold Rush Ranch series by Elsie Silver. This was her debut novel, and I definitely, you know, was bearing that in mind whilst I was reading it. I gave this one 3 stars, however, I did not love it. I don't think this one specifically was my favourite. I loved Billy. I really enjoyed Billy. However, Vaughn, I have to say it in the accent, Vaughn, first of all, sounds stupid in my accent, instantly put me off. Second of all, he wasn't for me. Not an inkling of attraction in my body for this fictional man. He kind of icked me out. I didn't like him. I didn't really see any chemistry between these 2 characters. You know when people are like, in what book do you think the characters are breaking up after the events of the book? This one, I just didn't sense any chemistry. It just wasn't for me, but I did really enjoy the setting of Gold Rush Ranch, where we're out kind of like above Vancouver, that sort of area in BC. I really enjoyed that setting. I do think overall I will enjoy this series, so I'm obviously going to continue it. I have the other 3 here, and oh, my sunny angel. Let's put it over there actually so you can see it. Book 2 is about Violet Eaton, the sister of all of the boys from the Chestnut Springs series, so I just know I'm gonna love it. Or I don't know if I'm gonna love it based on this one, but I know I'm gonna enjoy it and I know I'm gonna read it. But yeah, this one was just 3 stars. It was kind of middle of the road for me, and yeah, that was kind of it for that one. Then the next day, so I finished Off to the Races, started it the first night, finished it the second morning, and then this was the first book that we started on day 2, and that is Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. I gave this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It kind of follows, it's actually is this a spoiler? Okay, it's a spoiler. I'm not gonna say. But there's a trope that is kind of popular and I kind of enjoy it in this one. And it was unexpected because obviously it's not in the blurb, but I did really enjoy this one. Again, you know, Annabelle Monaghan does what she does best. A divorcee single mother. Yeah, a single mother who works 2 jobs. Kind of. Being a mother and then another job. Like, yeah, that's the FMC she always goes for. And you know what? It really works for her books. And it worked for Ali. And then you have the love interest, Ethan, and he kind of has like a past that you don't really know and you kind of have to uncover it through the book alongside Ali, basically. And it was just really fun and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, 4 stars. I think I preferred Nora Goes Off Script. I'm trying to remember what I rated that one, but I honestly couldn't tell you. But I did enjoy this one as well. And it was nice and sunny when I was reading it, so it was just a fun time. Then we picked up Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. Yeah. And this is book 2 in the, like, Phantasma, what is this called? The Wicked Games? Something like that. That series. This is book 2. I did not enjoy this as much as Phantasma. I actually read Phantasma with you guys in a Reading Popular TikTok books video. It was something like that. And I personally really, really enjoyed it. I want to say I gave it like 4.5 stars. Hey, it was a fun time. Was it like a literary masterpiece? Far from it. Was it so much fun? Yes, it was. Was Enchantra as fun? No, it wasn't. I felt that... Sorry, I have an itch on my back. Hold on. I felt that it was really rather repetitive. It kind of just recycled what Phantasma was. Phantasma was like this haunted-y house type thing, and each thingy, I don't even know, there was like different levels that you had to like work through, right? And there was basically like, it was basically in its simplest form, there was a house with different like trials you had to complete, right? You had to survive through. In its most simple form, it was a house with trials. Enchantra, in its most simple form, is a house with trials. So it was just, you know... Oh, I just kicked my camera. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, in its most simple form, it was kind of the same thing. And I do think Phantasma just did it a little bit better. Because with this one, you basically have, like, a house with all of these, like, siblings, basically. And each, like, round of Enchantra, their one sibling is, like, the hunter, right? And they're, like, hunting everyone else. And everyone else is kind of hiding in these rooms. And some of these rooms, you can get, like, a thing that basically lets you skip, like, the next round. So you're more likely to, like, win. I don't know. Okay, listen, I don't know. But, like, each round was just them hiding in bedrooms. And I was like, this is just the same thing again and again and again. And it was only different, like, twice. So I just didn't love that. It was very repetitive. I did like the love interest. I thought he was fun. But yeah, that was just my main takeaway from it. It just kind of felt like Phantasma, but, like, not as good. So... I am intrigued for the next one. I think we're starting to kind of develop an underlying plot that kind of links all of the books. So I'm intrigued to see where, you know, she kind of takes that. But yeah, that's where I was at with Enchantra. Then we picked up Ariadne, which unfortunately I didn't love it. I gave this one 3 stars. But yeah, I gave this one just 3, just a solid 3. I didn't love it, you guys. I felt like she was just using characters to tell me different myths that didn't necessarily pertain to the story. For example, a certain character tells us the tale of Midas and his golden touch. Did this actually affect Ariadne's story at all? No, it did not. So I feel like it didn't need to be in there, and there was definitely a couple other instances where I think she was telling the myths to kind of portray a moral, and it didn't necessarily work for Ariadne's story specifically. Like, I think she could have, I don't know, put them in a different book, perhaps, where they worked a little bit more closely, because I just don't think they worked in this one. I didn't like the ending. The ending of this book doesn't really match up with any sort of version of the myth, in my opinion. It felt kind of wishy-washy, and she kind of took like small elements from different versions of the myth and then kind of made up her own thing, which I didn't love. And then just overall, like, there was just something about it that felt off to me. I wasn't loving it. I don't know if it's because I was like super sleep deprived, because this was like night 2 going into day 3, and I was like, I am actually getting a bit exhausted here, and like words are losing their meaning in my brain. So that could be it. Maybe one day I'll give it another go, but I just, yeah. And it was compared a lot to Circe. I think I said this, but it's been compared a lot to Circe, and I also only gave Circe like 3.5. Circe wasn't my favorite. I'm more of a Song of Achilles girl, so I think there's multiple factors that may have suggested why I didn't love this book. But yeah, that's kind of where I was at with this one. And then we're almost done, you guys. So I finished off Long Shadow by Olivia Atwater. This is the final book in the Regency Fairy Tales series, and this is just a fun time. I think it's just one of those like slightly cozier fantasies that don't really have like huge stakes. And this one was sapphic, which I always love. I always love a sapphic story. And it was definitely better than 10,000 Stitches, which is book 2. But I would say I preferred Half a Soul to this one, Long Shadow. But this one was super fun. There's basically like loads of these young ladies in London who are like noble, aristocratic ladies. They are dying, and our main character Abigail kind of works alongside a different character, Mercy, and also a little bit of help from her father, who is the love interest in book 1. You know, they kind of all work together to discover what is happening, basically. And it was fun. I liked it, and I did love the little like subplot romance that was present throughout. So this one was just like a fun time. And I gave it 3.5 stars. So yeah, just like a nice, well-rounded book. And then finally, we read Dungeon Crawler Carl. What's it called? Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinnerman. I don't know how you say his last name actually, but yeah, we read Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I actually did not speak a single word about this book to you guys. I just gave up. Honestly, I gave up with the vlog by the end of the readathon. I was like, let me just get my minutes down, let me finish my timer, let me finish my book, and we can talk after. And this is us talking after. But yeah, Dungeon Crawler Carl was so fun and ridiculous and funny, and I was actually like giggling out loud at the ridiculousness of this book. You basically are in this, what's it called? Hold on, what's it called when like the world is like destroyed? Apocalypse. You're in like a apocalyptic Earth, and basically if you were outside then you lived, but if you were inside you died, because every building on Earth just flattened. And yeah, if you were inside you died. But Carl was outside chasing his cat, Princess Donut, actually his ex-girlfriend's cat, Princess Donut, in his underwear, and that is why he lived. And then these kind of like holes in the ground, I guess, with stairs kind of open up, and you go down and you're inside the dungeons. And the dungeons are basically a video game for this like, oh, my camera's getting hot, but yeah, these dungeons are like a video game for this like extraterrestrial like trillions of people and they watch it, and it's just so ridiculous because at one point something happens to Princess Donut and she becomes like, she can speak basically. So you have this speaking like ragdoll cat, and you have Carl, who is in his underwear for like the entirety of the book pretty much, and they are going through this dungeon. They are killing these like little goblin things, and they're defeating like bosses, like there's like boss battles, and they get achievements, like really silly achievements. Like Carl got one for being the first person in the dungeon to enter with a cat, for being the first person in the dungeon to enter without pants on, trousers, you know, that sort of thing. Like, it's just really silly, and I really, really enjoyed it. My only issue, I think, with it was that it was like a little bit too long. I think we could have condensed it a tiny bit, not by much, but just a little bit. I really enjoyed like the talk shows that they would be taken out of to like kind of speak in. That was super fun, and I will be continuing the series because it was just, yeah, actually a really fun time. It was great. And I gave that one 4 stars. So that was the last book of the readathon. I'm assuming that this is going to be an extremely long video, so I am sorry about that, because this outro alone has been 20 minutes, but I hope you enjoyed this readathon. I think this was one of my most fun ones, but also my most challenging. Like, I genuinely felt challenged doing this one with like the timer method. So yeah, that was interesting. But I had so much fun. Let me know if you've read any of these books before and we can talk about them in the comments. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and do all of those YouTube things, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!